Game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Goldline.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Final stone. Does he have it? Yes, he does! What a shot! John Schuster! Oh my goodness! A third of a rock for... That would make sense why he did curl.
Well, we got to not kill that. It's got to just be in the catch zone.
I mean, my gut is like hack to board and just roll 3 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah? Yeah, I think it's probably just hack.
You're always touching the 6.
I don't know that this leaves the 4-foot with hack.
Really good spots for Miller.
I think John's in a situation where he needs to send one of the red guards back.
Yeah, and it's dead nose and just, it's going to go spinning. This actually might catch two and just leak back.
I think it does.
Okay, so it might, close to dead.
Hammer something.
Extra focus of the players, because sometimes you just couldn't hear yourself thinking, and we needed to like use signs and show what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything, so that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
We are live from the Sleeman Center in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. The WFG Masters. 5th leg of the Grand Slam of Curling Tour for the 2024-2025 season. We've made it to the women's quarterfinal matchups, and we have a dandy for you this afternoon. Rachel Homan taking on Silvana Tirinzoni, the world's top 2 ranked teams. Let's take a look at the lineups. For Team Tirinzoni, skipping and throwing 3rd stones, Silvana Tirinzoni. Throwing 4th stones, Alina Pats. 2nd, Selena Vichonke. And lead, Carol Hovald. And for Team Homan, skip, Rachel Homan. 3rd, Tracy Fleury. 2nd, Emma Miskew. And lead, Sarah Wilkes. I'm Tyler George, joined by 2-time Scotties champion, Chelsea Carey. Chelsea doesn't get much better than the top 2 ranked teams in the world in the playoffs at the Slam. Maybe a little sooner than we expected to see these 2 teams meeting, but we're going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there, Ty. You expect this to be the final in a lot of ways, and both these teams having slight stumbles this week in ways that we maybe wouldn't expect. Haven't seen Rachel Homan lose very many games this season, only their 3rd loss of the year coming earlier in the round robin of this event. And Silvana Tirinzoni coming out of the gate strong, but struggling at the end of the round robin, still managing to get into the playoffs, but a little bit uncharacteristic.
Team's on a little bit of a delay here with our big brother Sportsnet staggering the starts of the games. Yeah, Chelsea, 3 losses on the entire season for Team Homan, and when you're facing a team like that, you're in Tirinzoni's shoes. I mean, number 2 in the world, number 2 year to date. They've had a fantastic season as well, but this is a very similar situation to what we just saw in the men's quarterfinals with Team Mowat taking on Team Schwaller, where the team that's number 2 has kind of been going under the radar because of the season that the number 1 ranked team has had.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. We were covering a different game when Bruce Mowat lost to Nicholas Edin, and we were talking about it being news that he was even down during the middle part of that game, because that's just how good a year they've had. They've barely even trailed in any games, let alone lost any. So these 2 top teams just kind of running away with everything. And there's lots of teams having a pretty good season, but they've just been head and shoulders the class of the field all year.
Both teams obviously very familiar with each other as well, and won't be a lot of surprises here. Expect to see some rocks in play with these 2 teams, neither afraid to mix it up. And really the X factor, I think, Chelsea, in this matchup is Alina Pats. I mean, a last rock thrower, hard to be an X factor, but when Alina gets it going, she can play with anybody in the world. And there was about a 3-year stretch where she was the best player on the planet. And the only reason we say was right now is because Rachel Homan has upped her game back to the level that we're used to seeing from the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these last rock throwers, Alina Pats and Rachel Homan, some of the best in the business. But both, again, this week maybe showed at least some signs of being human. So we'll see who comes out on top in this one. But this is always just such a great battle with 2 of these teams. Like you say, you don't expect World 1 versus World 2 in the quarterfinal, but we're excited because we get to bring it to you.
Players getting their practice slides in. We'll be underway shortly. Other games going on for this quarterfinal round over on Sheet A. Team Hasselborg taking on Team Tabata, that young squad from Japan that is putting on a pretty impressive run, making the quarterfinal round and winning in the tiebreakers this morning. On Sheet B, Fujisawa taking on Kim. And on Sheet C, Team Anderson taking on Team Rana.
Team Verona, the only team to beat Team Homan in this event, and 1 of 3 all year. It was a pretty impressive game from them a few days ago.
Homan will have hammer by virtue of the higher seed going into this semifinal matchup. And Homan had 3rd pick in our draft last night. Chose to play Team Tirinzoni of the available options. So maybe a bit of a surprise, Chelsea, for the number 1 ranked team to choose to play number 2. They only had 2 options.
I was going to say, the options weren't promising either way. You got Carrie Enerson on one side and Silvana Tirinzoni on the other. And I think partially maybe strategy on Rachel's part, thinking if you take out your biggest competition in the quarterfinal, it clears up your path to win. But obviously on the flip side, you got to beat the number 2 team in the world to get to the semifinal. So definitely an interesting choice. You would think that being top 3 would get you an easier game, but there just isn't any easy games at these events.
So we are underway now. First stone we saw in the pregame lineups, they had the front end flip with the Selena Vichonke throwing lead stones. I think they've kind of shuffled that a few times throughout the season, Chelsea.
I think they flipped it earlier in the season last year, and maybe at the start of this year, it was Carol Hovald playing lead, and then they switched it. I don't think they've switched it back and forth since then, but I could be wrong about that. Little surprised by this. You know Rachel Homan wants to blank the first end, so I would have expected a guard there from Silvana, but she would have a plan as well. They've played against each other so often that I don't think there will be any real surprises here.
So a conservative start to this game. Teams just trading hits, trying to get their feet underneath them. Soft weight, in-turn hit, crossing this red stone. Rolls off the paint. So Homan will throw corner guard to the opposite side. Oh, no, calling it into the house.
It's up to Rachel. She'll always blank the first end, I think. So I'm not surprised by this. It's just really their game plan. They are very comfortable doing it and have been doing that for quite a few years now, which is, again, why I'm a little bit surprised that Silvana isn't trying to make that impossible for her to do.
Yeah, as we said, probably not too many surprises between these two teams as many times they've played.
Yeah, Silvana will know that that's what Rachel wants to do, but obviously has a reason. Silvana, one of the smarter strategists in our game, which is why she's calling the game but throwing third. So she definitely would have come in with a very specific game plan, and knowing Rachel as well as she does, would have decided that she was going to purposely let her blank this first end.
Expect this end to be wide open. Always good, Chelsea, when it's January and you can count on one hand the number of teams that have beaten you this season with 2 fingers to spare.
I would imagine that would be good. I've never been in that position before.
I've had events where I needed both hands to count my losses just from the week.
Yeah, absolutely. And so have I. So have most people. But remarkable season, really, for Rachel Homan. And honestly, she had one last year, too. They're just on quite the heater here the last couple of years.
Carol Hovald, out-turn, hit, and stick. Team Tirinzoni this season, 3 victories, winning the Swiss European qualifier, the European Championships, and the Masters in Basel. And a miscue, in-turn hit, outside of the sheet. For Team Homan with that 40-3 record, they do have 5 victories out of 6 events. Coyote National, the Canadian Open, PointsBet Invitational, Pan-Continentals, and the Shorty Jenkins. Runner-up finish at the Tour Challenge Tier 1. Silvana Tirinzoni, the veteran. Hit and stick at the back of the forefoot. Pretty low stress first end for both of these teams. I think, Chelsea, if all things being equal, Silvana, even as the #2 ranked team in the world, well aware of the run that Homan is on, they can shorten the game, play a few of these blank ends out. Probably improves your chances of winning against, again, #2 ranked, but you have to feel that Rachel Homan is the favorite in every game they play.
Well, she is. She straight up is the favorite in every game she plays because of how incredible their season has been. So yeah, I mean, anytime you're playing a team that's, even if in this case not necessarily a lot better than you, but in theory this season anyway a little better than you, anytime you can shorten the game, you're pretty happy about it. The other thing to factor in, I guess, is that we are using a new rule here this week, experimenting anyway with a new rule where you can't blank back-to-back ends. Like, I suppose you could, but if you did, you would not score any points and lose the hammer, which doesn't sound like a good idea. So
yeah, you're allowed to do it.
Yeah, you are allowed to do
shouldn't.
it. We maybe don't recommend it though. So by doing this, you know what's going to happen in the second end. Rachel Homan knows she can't blank and therefore is going to try really hard to set up a 2. And Silvana Tirinzoni, knowing she can't blank, will probably be the more conservative of the 2 teams in the second end.
They're really messing with Sportsnet's stagger that they tried to implement too with the games.
Yeah, they are too.
They've already caught up to the other games. Hit and stick there from third Tracy Fleury.
Yeah, solid. Yeah. Sure, sounds good. Hey. What's up?
Another soft weight hit there from Silvana. Sorry, Alina. We are on to skip stones already now.
Flying through this
Warp
first end.
speed. Very good chance they'll be the first sheet to complete the first end despite starting after the other games.
Yeah, nice in an end like this when you are just throwing open hits. It's nice to change up the weights when you can. Throw that quieter weight and see what it does so that in a few ends when there's a guard, you've thrown a board waiter in that spot because in the first end it was a wide open hit. So gives you a bit more margin for error to figure out where you need the broom when later it becomes a much more precise shot when there's other rocks in play.
Rachel Homan hits and rolls to the outside of the 8-foot. Alina Pat's already in the hat to throw her final stone of this first end. I've noticed too, Team Tirinzoni, as they're doing right now, tend to play more inside-out hits than almost any team in the world too.
Yeah, and I think that Jennifer Jones used to do this a lot as well, and I think that there's something to it because almost every curler you ask would tell you that that's their least favorite of the 2 ways. Everybody would much prefer the outside-in hit. And when that's the case, when you feel that in your head, you're just never quite as confident with that inside-out hit. And the more you throw it, the more comfortable with it you'll get. I know there was a few seasons where my teams had consciously decided to do that, and none of us had ever thrown that shot better, and you do really just get more comfortable with it. So I think really smart, because as the game goes on, a lot of the time that is the turn you have to play, so you want to feel really good and really comfortable with it.
Final stone first end. Rachel Homan playing the intern heel weight blank attempt. Sweeper's really going on this, but no problem. Rachel throws it hard enough, still hit it pretty thick and roll out. So it will be a blank in the first. Homan and Tirinzoni 0-0 to the second end.
Gotta make sure, you know.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
blank in the first, never more than a single rock in play, except for the one that rolled just off the paint. 0-0, Homan and Tirinzoni. A feature matchup here in the quarterfinal round. Tirinzoni going right back in again, Chelsea.
Yeah, and I would suggest that this is probably to do with that rule, with knowing Homan cannot play a blank in this end, she's always going to throw a corner guard. So by going in first, in theory, it's easier to throw the draw first and then guard that rock. If the ice was super swingy, you might see it go the other way, but for Silvana Tirinzoni, get in first and then throw your tight guard after, knowing that Rachel Homan is not going to hit it.
Intern corner guard from Sarah Wilkes.
This needs to sit down, though.
Yeah, that's got a lot of paint. So easy call here for Tirinzoni. Again, with the no consecutive blanks rule, they can play this end out, trade hits for as long as they can.
Yeah, no need to force the issue here for Silvana, because Rachel's not going to throw a hit and roll out. She's going to hit for a single point, even if there's only one rock in play. So you can basically play as if you want Rachel Homan to blank this end if you're Silvana.
Stick made there by Pichonke. Angle run in from Isabella Vrana. Gets 2 in the first end against Carrie Anderson. Eyelash away from a 3, but the deuce for the young squad. This one stops up top, corner guard on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Good, Tara.
Oval throwing the center guard here on the #1 counter. One positive already, Chelsea, for Team Tirinzoni early in this game and second end. Keeping Homan chasing their stones. Now that one guard going into the house makes a huge difference.
Yeah, especially in an end where you can't blank. If they hadn't blanked the first end, you might have seen them bail and stop throwing corner guards, but that's not an option. So uncharacteristic miss coming from Sarah Wilkes at the wrong time, given that. So now definitely chasing. There's a perfectly guarded Tirinzoni rock on the top of the forefoot and another kicker out in the wing.
Emma Miskew playing normal weight, trying to make the run or at least roll to the corner. Does stick around for a corner guard on the outside.
I think so. I didn't get a ton, but it looked close to me.
Peel attempt from Hovald. Gets 1. Rolls over. Pushes the other red close to the boards. Not much of an opportunity now for Team Homan to do anything with Hammer. And again, knowing that they can't blank, again, Chelsea playing the freeze on this #2 counter, trying to get some offense going.
Yeah, that corner guard it's still a corner guard, but it's not covering very much of the house anymore, so it makes it a little tough to use. But If you make this freeze, you're hoping for a little bit of a mistake from Team Tirinzoni and maybe get your 2 set up this way. This one's heavy, though.
That's going to bounce off of the number 2 counter. Roll open. Simple stuff here for Team Tirinzoni. Can either force or get a cheap steal.
It's okay, I'm pretty quick there.
Anywhere you like to roll this one, Chelsea?
Probably big would be ideal out the other side of that guard if you roll, or other side of that guard, not the guard, the rock in the top of the forefoot. But I think if you rolled right behind that, you might see Rachel Homan try to use it as a guard and throw a freeze back there or tap the top one back and make a pocket. But if you stay where you are, she might roll behind the corner. So I think I'd be trying to roll it out the other side.
They have lined up triple, but I don't know if Homan wants to clear all 3, as it may take away any opportunity of scoring more than 1 point.
Yeah, I think it's hard. If you make the double, I don't know that you're hitting it thin enough to push that yellow all the way out. I think you can make it and roll over there, but I agree. I don't think you're actually worried about killing all of them. I don't think that's helpful. You need to clear up this middle so that you have a chance, but probably would rather leave at least 1 yellow in there so that you have something to use. Rachel calling the audible partway down there. Tracy still yelling hard. Rachel knowing they weren't going to make the roll, so asking Sarah Wilkes to curl it over and have it come to the nose, which she does do.
So plenty of space between these 2 stones. Tirinzoni's going to try to roll to the wing. In-turn hit and roll attempt from Silvana Tirinzoni, and just playing the peel instead. Again, playing to the circumstances with no 2 blanks in a row.
Yeah, if you stick over on the wing, it's just another rock Rachel Homan can freeze to or tap or something to try to generate a 2nd point. So no benefit to Silvana's team in sticking on that side. So smart call there.
Do you like the hit and roll at all? It's pretty tough. I want to give up a steal. You try? Yeah. Board.
Upturn hit and roll attempt. Tracy Fleury. Needs to sit to be shot. That rolls a little too far, but not a bad result. As long as you're going to be scoring anyways.
Yeah, you may as well be aggressive with that, because if you under-roll it and she can chase it, it's not any better than that. So give yourself a chance. Didn't need to curl much more, just a tiny bit, and it would have been perfect.
Tirinzoni now split in the house. Throw this to probably even up. Alina Pats is first, the out-turn draw.
ein bisschen geben. Haben noch ein bisschen geben. Bis T-Line, haben wir sicher. Vorne 4. Lauf noch mega gerade. Linie ist gut. Mach bis da. Bis da. Bis da, kommen. Gut, schön.
It was just behind the tee line, so that'll allow Homan to play the freeze.
Yep, got it.
The only way to get the cheap 2 that they're looking for.
Yeah, I got a 14-6, yeah.
Yeah, not expecting a 3 out of this, not trying to set that up, just hoping that if you make it well enough that Alina will have to blast everything and roll out, and then you could play, it's not an easy shot for 2, but you could play the kind of half a rock, hack to board, waiter, miss the back jam, and roll in for 2 points. But first, this freeze needs to be made pretty well so that Alina Petz can't either pick it clean or stick her shooter on the kill.
Also weißt du, für ihn zwicken, das geht relativ einfach.
Let's see if Homan can lock this one on, at least make Patz's final shot a little more difficult. This one will chip and roll off a little bit as well. Yeah, the line was probably perfect there, Ty. If that had a foot or 2 less weight, it would have got exactly perfectly frozen to 7/8 or so of the rock. It would have been mission accomplished. So being fooled a little bit, Emma Miskey as well, with how fast it is to those wings, I think. Looks like they want to roll this one towards the outside, the short side. Maybe make Homan think about drawing against 3.
Yeah, if you roll it to a place where it's not an easy nose hit double, I think she does have to draw. So I imagine that's the goal here. Have to expect Rachel Homan to make that draw, but anytime you can make your opponent draw against 3, you just never know.
And I think that's...
Do you think it's in a curl here?
Thought it was maybe good enough to make Rachel draw, but
Probably.
nose is still good.
Yeah, I think it had to be not a nose hit double. So if that rolls another maybe half a rock, even probably not quite that far, then I don't think Rachel takes on the double. But as it stands, she can hit this on the nose. She actually can hit this fairly low as well and still get away with it. It won't jam and stay in the way of her counting 1. So a little bit of margin for error on this one, which I think is why she's throwing it.
Da vielleicht noch nicht so. Der Feinleder, da ist noch gut gefährlich, aber sonst eigentlich fast überall. Okay, so 11 finde ich gut, wenn so 11-2 ist, ist auch gut. Ja, mega, ja.
Final stone, second end. Rachel Homan with a hit and stick against 3. Hanging a little bit here.
That has to get up.
That's going to roll too far, so it is a steal of 1 for Tirinzoni. They lead 1-0 after 2 ends.
Man sagt so,
Light, if anything.
fast, also 11 ist super Länge, aber eher 11,5 ist fast besser. Außer vielleicht in einer ganz neuen Spur, aber sonst.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Uncharacteristic error from Rachel Homan. her final shot. Swept that one a little early. Rolls too far, so a steal of one for Tirinzoni. They lead 1-0 in the third. Extremely tight center guard to start this end off. Going back to the corner guard, playing out-turn side. Stops right on the logo. Tirinzoni will play the out-turn come-around draw.
Weer echt veel sneller, Britse. Voor een 4, T-line. Die moment nog heen, 4. Komt een beetje op en zo. Vind ik goed. Vind ik goed. Go Leggy, voor een 4. Go Leggy, voor een 4.
Keepers carrying this one right down to the top of the forefoot. Well done by Vitschonke. Chelsea, Homan going to come around draw here, ignoring the center, so we need somebody to make a run of some sort later in this end.
Yeah, this is a play that you see in the men's game. They might even throw a second corner, but in doing that, it's your best way to set up two, but you also, like you say, are going to need somebody to make that run. But on Team Homan, I don't think they worry too much about that. They got Emma Miskew getting in the hack next, and she's one of the best at those. But yeah, you will need somebody to do it, or else you're in trouble of giving up a steal.
Carol Hovald looking to throw another center guard up and get some distance between the two guards.
Really nice shot. Mogen nou, Tiri. Ja, Lenny is zeer goed. Sogar nog een beetje weiter.
A little tighter than Carol would have liked. It's going to make that run back attempt a lot shorter. Probably get all three of these yellows moving.
Yeah, for sure you can. That's not what you want to leave for somebody like Emma Miskew.
If you go a little bit this way, we can stick our shooter here. Which way do you want? The intern that you saw? If it doesn't come up, it's okay. We can hit it high.
So playing the intern across the face, looking to get all the way across this one and hit a little bit on the low side if possible. But Rachel's saying that if it doesn't come up, they can hit it high based on the early line call. I'm guessing it's not going to undercurl. Oh boy.
That just sticks in. Both guards stay up. Number one counter still buried.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Tough one, Em. Good throw. So close. Good throw.
One back attempt just scoots by. So Homan will have another go at clearing things up. See what Emma Miskew can come up with. And at least clear the guards, maybe get a bonus on the rock in the house. Didn't play that with a lot of weight, Chelsea. It looked like maybe they were hoping that if they don't make the double peel, the red might stay in the house or something. Trying to think of another reason why they wouldn't throw that with peel weight.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as well. You'd think the only thing I can think is trying to stick the shooter and the run rock, but that wasn't successful anyway. So it would have been easier to throw it with a bit more weight, and she did throw full peel on her first one.
Tirinzoni once again keeping home and chasing their stones, dictating the action thus far.
Carol Hovald on this right out of Silvana's hand. Gotta go to touch it.
It just barely gets enough to clear the red stone, so not a great effort there from Silvana. Tracy Fleury trying to dig this stone out from behind the guard.
Keep going to try and stay. That's a ton of weight.
Just barely gets enough of it to get it out. So a couple of miscues here from both teams.
Ja, macht Sinn, ja. Nein.
Halve viervoet! Sorry, too much weight, eh? Board? Yeah. Yeah, I think with that bit less weight, it would have swooped in there and stuck around them.
It's kind of handing it back and forth a little bit, and up to Silvana Tirinzoni to try to bury a draw here around this guard. Put the pressure back on Rachel Homan.
How deep would you like this, Chelsea?
I think you're looking at kind of full top four, but probably not a lot deeper than that. Even half 4 foot's okay. More important to be buried and don't want to be behind the tee line if you could avoid it. This one needs to curl quite a bit.
Right on the nose, back 8.
Back 8.
Just trying to tap this back now for Tracy Fleury. Looking to create a little offense.
Yeah, I thought she might try to run with the blank here, play a chase and roll open and try to take the blank. But now this is a play where you know you're not going to blank because you're not going to move this rock out of the house.
A lot of weight for this shot. Gonna get a piece. Shooter will just barely bite in the back, but Tirinzoni still shot rock. So see how aggressive they want to play. I would think, Chelsea, they have to draw here because if they hit the open one, Rachel's drawing instead. So whether you want to leave that one in or not, you got to take away your opponent's shot.
Yeah, I agree. You can hit that all you want and say, well, I'm playing for the force, but Rachel Homan's not going to take the force. She's going to throw a draw. So you may as well get in there first. Either way, you run the risk of giving up 2, so I think by doing this, you actually minimize that risk. And they just threw this with Silvana, so they should have a really good idea of both the speed and the line.
I don't have the speed out of my hand, I thought, but maybe she was just waiting.
Yeah, I agree with you. They were acting like it was moving.
So out turn come around here from Alina Pats. Trying to get this right to top 4. So raised the curl still, now turning over. Settles right on the lid.
Okay. You're throwing like a back 4? Yeah.
So same type of shot here now for Homan, trying to tap this rock back.
I'm surprised that Silvana didn't take a little less ice for that. That's exactly where hers ended up, and she put the broom in the same spot. Got to tighten that up a little bit, knowing that Silvana's rock took its time to get over there, and then Alina's just did the same thing. So for Rachel, same shot that Tracy tried. I think Tracy was just heavy on hers, so I think that that broom was probably right for that back 8-foot weight.
Tap attempt here for Rachel Homan. Going to manufacture a skips deuce.
Just for weight! Needs to curl! Just for weight! Curl! Just for weight if you have to! Curl and weight! You gotta tap it!
Trying to turn this over to get to nose.
Kick it! Go, go, go!
Bumps it far enough to be shot, we believe.
Real good, right?
Looks like it from the overhead, yeah.
I
think that's as good as she could have made it.
Yeah, good stagger as well. That's a tough rock to get inside on. Tap it back.
Yeah, the spot looks like it's really gradual. Both the draws kind of took their time, and same with Rachel's weight was perfect, and they were still sweeping that to get it to curl, so probably hard to get low on this.
Ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, mein erster Gedanke wäre so gewesen, immer noch. Einfach weil ich ihn etwa wahrscheinlich ein Drittel auf dieser Seite sehe, aber du hast wahrscheinlich schon recht.
Also ich glaube, du musst ihn ganz auch da treffen, oder? Genau das gleiche von der anderen Seite.
Ja, einverstanden, ja.
Und ich glaube, das sind die Seite gefährlich mehr.
Ja, ich glaube es auch. Ist gut. Ich finde es gut. Findest du gut? Die Frage ist, wo geben wir Eis, ja. Also
I don't think they believe they can actually make that shot. So looking at the other side now and trying to freeze to their own.
Yeah, I don't think they can either, so I think this is probably really the only option that you have.
Yeah, you can't really play the run because if you're even just a sliver off, you could run red into yellow and be looking at 4.
Yeah, that would be quite the turn of events, so we don't want, if I'm Alina Pets, I want no part of that. By playing this, the worst you should ever give up is the 2, but you might give up the 2. She makes it good, though. She'll force Rachel into a really tough shot, and you could end up stealing another one.
Yeah, it really took its time.
Ja, so 90er, oder?
Alina Pats is last, putting the intern freeze to their own stone. Trying to avoid giving up a 2.
Yep.
Carol Hovald trying to hold the line on this one. Really curling. Chips it to the open, but will still be a shot for 2 for Homan.
Yeah.
Unless that yellow goes over the top. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either. But
probably jams on the side too for yellow rock, but pretty safe to play for 2.
Okay, you got it.
It's not going to curl.
yeah, you could just come down and tap this for 2, but this might be the easier way to get there. Throw some weight at this, and you can hit it almost anywhere low, really. You don't have to move that yellow very far.
wahrscheinlich. Ja, für mich, ich habe das Gefühl, wenn wir wahrscheinlich mehr von außen kommen, haben wir eine Chance. Jetzt haben wir natürlich immer gerade heben, von Anfang bis Schluss. Machen wir halt zwei.
Final stone, third end, Rachel Homan.
Yep. Oh. Hard! Hard, Sarah! Hard!
This is really curling. And there is the triple for three. The best on the planet, Rachel Homan. Now they lead 3-1 after three ends.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
From what looked like a force, turns into a three for Rachel Homan. Making the triple on her last shot, now leading 3-1 over Silvana Tirinzoni. Chelsea, just no margin for error against this team. Homan hadn't looked particularly sharp for the first few ends, but one small opening is all it takes. And now Tirinzoni trails by 2.
Yeah, you hear us talk a lot about a skip's deuce. That was a skip's 3. They were in no position to even get 2 points, and Rachel made a really good, pretty much perfect tap on her first one, and then Alina Pet's trying to come around it and just chiseled it and rolled to the probably the only place she couldn't have really, and left that triple for Rachel. And that was a really hard shot, and of course Rachel Homan is Rachel Homan, and she doesn't even blink and makes it perfect.
Pardon? Yeah, all good, all good. Top 12. Good.
If you're Team Tirinzoni, you feel like you kind of dictated the action for 3 ends, or maybe 2.75 ends.
Yeah.
And now you're trailing 3-1, and really demoralizing too. There's a big difference between, you know, a team putting together a good end on you. They get their 3, they made a couple of good shots, and maybe you missed one. And really feeling like, okay, we've done our job to this point. You probably should be at worst 1-1. And you're looking at the scoreboard, and you're down 3-1. So some of these deficits weigh more heavily than others.
Yeah, this one has to feel like you got your pocket picked there. They've been the better team for, to your point, for 2 3/4 of 3 ends, and yet they're down 3-1. It can be hard to stomach, and it'll be interesting to see. The key is how you bounce back from it, and this next end I think will be really telling. If you can put a deuce back on the board and be tied going to the break, you'll probably feel better about it. If you somehow get forced here, or heaven forbid you have a steal, you're probably not going to be feeling great about your chances.
Selena Vichonke carries the out-turn draw around the corner guard.
Ich glaube es nicht, nein. Gut, wir haben aber auch nichts, also weißt, wir haben nicht einmal geputzt immer, oder? Ich glaube, es ist mega nah.
Out-turn dig attempt. This is going to wreck the guard, so just trying to get enough of it to keep the shooter in the house and not clear the corner guard.
Freeze! Huh? Take out!
Nur Freeze findest du auch gut.
Your weight is always so close on those. The fem kommt einfach die Garde, wenn man nicht spielt.
Du bist ja nicht second. Okay. Also wir sind ja schon besser da.
A little indecision here for Team Tirinzoni. Chelsea, what do you like here? I think they're considering either guard or hits or peel. 3 different options.
Yeah, I think they're looking at maybe going around the corner guard again, but the problem is you're going to be at 5th shot if you're buried around there, so...
Sorry, not peel, but hits in the center.
Yeah. You could tap it to a pocket in the center there, but the problem is, again, who you're playing, and you probably leave your shooter in a place where a double could be made, so it's a little bit risky.
I don't mind hitting and rolling to the try to freeze.
Yeah, hit that
the
top
outside.
That top right in the middle and roll to the outside. I like that the best, I think.
Yeah, you're only down 2. You got a really good setup. You're able to roll away. You're going to have to move those stones in the center at some point anyways. It's probably a good time to do it.
Looks like she's hitting the outside one, maybe? Roll behind the, like using those 2 reds as a guard, maybe roll all the way to the middle.
A little surprised there. And if they roll, then you're leaving the double anyways, too.
Yeah, you leave a slash, probably.
So I think they were just playing it to nose the whole way.
Interesting.
Do you like board or control?
So easy decision for Homan, just trading hits now.
Looks heavy, curl, curl. Keep going to stay.
This is really hanging though. It's gonna roll off.
Sit down. Okay.
He sticks around for a biter though.
9, 8. Yeah.
Enter the door, the red zone.
Vind dat goed? Oder? Fries of Teil, also jetzt finde ich nicht mehr unbedingt. Auch wenn sie den rausnimmt, liegt sie ja 3 Mal. Gut. Okay. 94, aber ein bisschen soft. 4 Fuß! Vorab!
Carol Hovald playing the outturn draw. Trying to stagger underneath this corner guard. Just touches the corner. Still stays up for a guard though.
Just lost the line on that. It curled much more than they were expecting by the look of it.
Sure. Unless we try to get them both, but this works. Case for it.
Soft weight run over curls. Just push the yellow to the open.
Ja, das habe ich im Fall auch vorhin gedacht, ja.
Just hit it to there.
Einfach so, dass wir noch im 8-Fuß liegen, oder? Dass wenn sie da hinterher rollt, dass wir noch besser sind. Ja, ist gut. Okay. Ja, von so, haben wir gesagt, oder? Mit Übergaben. Ja.
Selfie?
Yeah, 9-6. Wait, well, and I should have told you, like, those were our draws.
It looks like, yeah, they're going to play that hit and roll that we were talking about earlier. They're going to throw it now. Hit that top
I think we would have stayed, yeah.
red and roll. Ideally even with the other yellow on the other side of the center line.
Good feet, Emma. You held that nice.
In-turn hit attempt here. Silvana Tirinzoni.
It's amazing how the momentum has turned. Went from Team Homan just struggling with some uncharacteristic wrong side misses and that kind of thing, and Team Tirinzoni making almost everything, to Team Tirinzoni now being caught on the wrong side of these misses.
Same way. Same way.
Homan's still just hitting #1 count. Odd stagger. See some characters in the stands. Banana outfits. Do not know the significance there.
Banana with a curling rock hat.
Whoa. Yep. Hard. Really got to go hard for nose. Hard.
This one crossing a little bit on #1 count. Does still stay for shot.
Fast so, oder? Ja, wir können jetzt schon noch mal so. Oder? Du willst, beides gut. Kommst du mal gleich schnell, oder kommst du runter? 10,5 ist gut. 10,5, ja. Aber nicht schneller. Nein. Bis da über.
I'll try to add a bit more relief to those. Yeah, the weights are close, I think. It looks like it's...
So if you were to hit and roll behind the corner guards, which looks like the obvious call here, it's going to leave a double for Rachel Homan. So instead, what they're going to try to do is hit this quite thin with quiet weight and scoot their shooter underneath that other yellow and roll all the way over to the side of the 8-foot, just on the bottom side of that GSOC logo.
Tough to not leave a double here for Silvana.
Oh, this needs to curl a lot.
That catches the backside of their own stone, so there's a double, but a jam stone in the back as well, that biter in the 12-foot.
It's easier to get it to take off. Yeah. Okay.
Ich habe gemeint, er geht gerade noch so unten durch, aber...
Okay, really big deal.
Just try to chisel it.
Just don't know if that's there.
Sorry, ich würde hinten raus spielen.
Really hard?
What turn are you from?
What do you think? No, I don't like that. They're coming around the guard anyways. I like the nose, even if it just curls up a bit. Do you want me to give me my in? Sure. Really hard? Sure. Chance. Easy center line.
So the in turn, really hard.
I think dead split.
Rachel Homan throws it pretty hard at any point in time when she's throwing a peel. This one will be coming even harder by the sounds of it, trying to hit it really close to the nose and hoping she can just feather that back yellow and scoot it over the top of the red in the back 12-foot there.
See if Homan can get both these going. And that's why you throw it as hard as it did. Still spills even though it jams. Homan sitting 2.
That was 6.2 seconds between the hog lines.
What a shot!
Trace loves it.
Selfie. That was hard to do.
Separation
it's
too.
True.
Give it a chance, I guess.
right, good.
Alina felt like she set that one back a little bit. You saw that point immediately. Carol Hovald trying to get this to cross and roll.
It's a great sweep by Carol Hovald. That was going to be hard to get it to the nose, and she did get it across the face, but not enough to get buried behind those guards.
It's about edge to edge on these rocks, the guard and the rock in the house. Homan's last here in the fourth end. No problem there from Rachel. Sitting 2. Forced Tirinzoni to play the hit for 1. There is a possible blank if they wanted to take it on, playing the double and spin out. I think they're just attempting the hit and stick.
Yeah, I think it's just the hit for 1.
Last rock, first half of this feature matchup. Alina Pats, out-turn, hit and stick. That'll be just fine. So a single for Tirinzoni. Score will be 3-2 Homan at the break.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
There's a place where the world's best curling not only lives, it rocks. Download the new Grand Slam of Curling app and live stream all the action. Get exclusive content, stats, merch, and more. Let's rock.
Peace of mind, confidence, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial education. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to make choices that fit their goals. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
Second half of action in our feature matchup here. The WFG Masters from Guelph, Ontario. Quarterfinal action between Team Homan and Team Tirinzoni. 3-2 Homan leading with Hammer in the fifth. Tyler George with two-time Scotties champion Chelsea Carey. Chelsea Homan, 1 point lead, and Hammer has to feel like a whole bunch of points for Team Tirinzoni to come back from with the way that Rachel's playing.
Yeah, for sure. And they did get some misses out of the team, Rachel's team early, not so much Rachel herself, but got a few misses and were looking like they were really well set up and all turned around in that third end with 2 perfect shots by Rachel and a slight miscue by Alina in the middle, and it's just got to feel like more of a mountain than it even is, and it already is a bit of a mountain. So for Team Tirinzoni, an uphill battle here, both mentally and factually in this game.
Ja, ich glaube, das ist jetzt 15:09 vor 12. Weißt du? Ich war 19. Das ist ein bisschen knapp. Nur 12. Nur 12. Friese. Okay. Friese.
Tirinzoni playing the freeze. The stone in the top of the 8 foot. Perfectly done by Vichonki.
I like that. Could come right around.
It's also at the point now, because of your competition for Tirinzoni, that you're kind of going all out, steal this end, or you're still trying to stay patient, maybe get a force and look for 2 and 6.
I think it's important probably to stay patient. I think that's probably not where you want, what you want to do. If I'm Silvana, I want to go all out for a steal here, but they did have chances to set up a 2 even in the 4th end and didn't end up making it happen, but there was opportunities there. And so if you force here, you get your 2 and 6 and somebody scores 1 and 7, you're in a pretty good spot coming home considering the bit of a hole that you ended up in early here. So I think that that's the smart way to go about it. You'd love a steal, but I don't think you want to sell the farm, lose the game trying to get it here.
Ich finde ihn lang, kann 99. Keine 4. Ist genug lang. Ist noch gut. Ich finde ihn genug lang, er bumpert, sicher. Am liebsten würde ich gar nichts machen.
Try to repeat that freeze, but that's going to bounce off a little bit.
Yeah, again, the line would have been perfect with a little bit less weight, but just a couple feet heavy there for Carol and a pretty unfortunate result.
Good roll all the way. Just tough. You can only hit
Good
like
chance
3
to take control of this end here for Homan. Just hack weight, trying to get to the inside.
Gotta go. Keep going.
It doesn't quite get the roll, so a bit of a missed opportunity.
Sunny, oder was hast du?
I'd suggest this is a must-make now for Team Tirinzoni. You're still not even in a great spot if you make it, but at least get that rock off the top of the button, because if you don't do it now, you're probably not going to get another chance.
Really good throw.
Just through 11. Yeah. Just didn't want to play.
You know?
Yes.
Bash! 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 Bash!
this by.
And just over curls a little bit. Spreads those stones out. This end looking very dangerous for Team Tirinzoni right now.
I like that. I like that, yeah.
That looked like, that's a great camera angle we had to watch Carol let that go. It looked, I don't think it was necessarily a soft release, but it looked very straight through. There's just none of that little outward motion that I think she would normally have on that in-turn. So Sylvana, seeing that too, had the sweepers on it right out of her hand, but couldn't save it.
Ich muss fast immer wischen bei denen.
Our rocks are probably both gone.
Das hat sich entscheidet sich noch ummachen.
Okay.
I'm like 50-50. I'm like 50-50. I like either.
How much? Back 8.
Probieren Doppel zu machen. Möglichst nass liegen zu bleiben vielleicht.
So initially looked at the run back here, but Rachel thinks both reds are likely going if you run the yellow into that other yellow, so then it could be a problem. So instead, switching a little bit to the offense here and looking to play kind of back 8-foot weight and come down and tap your own back a little bit and get to the inside, to the center line side, roll in behind the mess with the shooter.
Trying to turn this over so they can get underneath. That's just going to be nose. So another missed opportunity for Homan to get underneath.
9,5 hätte ich gesagt. So einfach, dass er sicher rausgeht, oder? Gut, das ist, glaube ich, kein Problem. 9. Genau. Gut. 9.
Really nice weight.
Ganz schlecht draussen. 9.
So a chance for Tirinzoni to turn the tables once again. Sylvana playing the in-turn hit. Will stick in the side of the 8-foot. Good setup now for Homan to secure their 2.
What? Okay.
Nazi. Ja. Oder Rolle, ja.
Tracy Fleury, in-turn hit and stick attempt.
Wahrscheinlich müssen wir den also wenn wir noch einen Zeiger verhindern.
That'll roll off the paint.
Relativ gerade läuft, oder? Ja.
It's a bit of a sloppy end here.
Yeah, that's a really big error from Tracy that you didn't have to do anything fancy there. You just had to stick somewhere in the house. That's a big miss and let Sylvana Tirinzoni off the hook in a pretty big way here now. This went from almost a guaranteed deuce to looking like a force.
Yeah, she thought I was tight. She called sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Shoot.
So Tirinzoni out of jail. So maybe they can manufacture some sort of steel setup now. Just rolls to the side of the 8-foot.
Could just draw. I don't mind the hit and roll.
I like the hit and roll.
Gut gespielt, Didi.
Why do we need Q?
Gut gespielt.
I don't know. I kind of like the hit and roll. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Did she change it? Hackerboard! Hack! Okay.
So hack weight here from Tracy Fleury trying to get underneath.
schlecht gespielt.
Yep. Whoa. No. Close.
Sind nicht schlecht.
No. Hard line. Hard line. Hard
Really
line.
close on the roll here. That's perfect. Great shot from Tracy. Finally, Chelsea, somebody able to get underneath.
Does jam at the back, but I don't know that that'll matter yet with how buried that red is. It's hard to get to it. Could run the guard back, I guess. It's probably the only way.
Wahrscheinlich hinten da. Wahrscheinlich nimmt sie, wahrscheinlich spielt sie da. Aber ja, vielleicht haben wir immer noch irgendwie etwas zum Vergleichen. Gut, machen wir das. Ich finde das gut. Ich finde das gut. Ich finde das gut, Iris. Out. Ich komme aber so Clearing, easy Clearing-Länge. So 8, 7,5. 7,5. Ich glaube, Mitte Stein ist gut.
Going to play the run. Yellow, yellow, red. Basically right on the nose.
Clearing-Länge.
Which is 6 that didn't
Wird
get
da
there.
wahrscheinlich nicht viel.
On the inter? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Go.
And just a little flare out of hand there from Alina. Not her best effort.
Either way, I think she's going to have a double. Yeah, it's pretty precise, but...
Yeah, just like you want it to be so that if she stops to sit.
I wouldn't mind going here, because if she tries this double, she might jam it back there. And I'm more like a part. Even if I'm light, the double's harder. Whereas if I'm light here, the double's harder. You like that over here?
But then if she runs that, she can roll that in front of ours.
Whenever light here, this is pretty automatic. Whereas well, so is there.
Yeah.
No, I have less rings over here.
Then they might can roll, but that was my first thought
It's just
too.
hard. I'm way out here, and if I'm light, same thing. Like, you guys don't like here?
I do. I just think it's like
Everything's gonna be precise. If I go here, if she hits it high, they're both gone.
The only thought with this is if she does freeze, then we just
I don't want to guess how wide where it's slow.
okay. So
I got
right
a 14.6. It didn't get there, and you guys thought it was all there.
here, right here, right?
I think so.
Okay.
This is the draw line to see.
Yep, we know it. You got it.
So decided early on that they were going to go to the open side, one side or the other. Just a conversation about which path to take and where to put it. This was Rachel's preference kind of from the beginning. I'm not sure that the team was initially on board, but it's what she wants to throw, and they've all bought in. So they're going to go with the out turn. Got to be behind the tee line, somewhere over just through the, probably just through the 4 foot.
Oh, you want to go back for this way? Split a shot, you know, back four. I think I can get back four. 15. Okay. I'll keep it there. Should be able to get the same spot here. Need back four. Let's go!
Rachel Homan trying to lob this out turn draw to the back of the 8 foot.
Back four.
It's hanging.
Line's great. Back four.
Looks here.
Whoa, then.
Oh,
Yep. Gotta go. Oh, no, it's there. Okay. I didn't want to leave it teased.
Good spot. Good judge, you guys.
Well done there from Homan. Perfect spot.
Nasse. Dann sind wir dann schon besser wieder. Ja. Ich glaube, an hinten, dass wir nicht... Darum, ich würde glaube von dieser Seite spielen, oder?
Ja, müssen wir ein bisschen da treffen? Oder lang jetzt?
Ich glaube einfach so, dass wir ganz versteckt sind. Ich habe das Gefühl, es langt, oder? Wie dass wir ganz leicht da...
Ja, genau.
Dass wenn sie nachher so drauf schießt, dass er allenfalls im Weg wäre.
kind of in a tough spot here, Chelsea. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I think they were trying to see if they run this back and stick it perfectly right on the nose if they'd be shot. I don't think they will be. So you could run this back and try to spill the run rock in front of the red and at least make Rachel's hit for 2 a little bit trickier, because in that case I think you might be shot, or you can just nose it and give her 2, which you don't really want to do. You could probably try to hit and roll off the back one, but it went back far enough that it's hard to get shot on that too, and it's really, really precise.
See what Pats can come up with here. Makes the short run, but don't think they're shot rock.
Do you want to draw some?
Hey.
What do you want to draw?
Almost worth playing the double anyways, just because leaving those stones in the front is a problem, and drawing around them leaves the tap.
This is the last shot.
Well, then they should probably draw for 2.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
How many rocks did they get per end again?
We're giving Tyler a curling lesson in the middle of the game.
You need to do that every once in a while. 2018 is a long time ago. We have the end sheet that we can't see from where we're at unless we stand up. So
I think one more foot's pretty good.
I think we're allowed one of those gaffes per game. So this will be final stone. Rachel Homan drawing. Needs at least full 8 foot for her second point.
Way too much. Way too much. Take a look.
All you like it. Like it.
Real.
Like it. Good judge.
Curling rules say that 8 stones is all you get, so Homan draws the 4 foot. That will be for 2. Now they lead 5-2 after 5 ends of play.
Peace of mind, confidence, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial education. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to make choices that fit their goals. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
Two in the 5th puts Homan up 5-2. On to the 6th end in our feature matchup in these quarterfinals. Chelsea, we said we weren't quite in sell the farm mode yet for Team Tirinzoni, but I think we've reached that point now.
Oh yeah, it is sell the farm mode now for sure. You need a minimum of 2 here for Silvana Tirinzoni, so she'll be going all out offense here.
Nice, Sarah. Minza. Stru. 14-6.
Zeg goed, kleine spannelij.
Okay.
Snager.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Goed. Schön. Schön.
It's likely a second corner coming.
Schön, Selina.
Homan lobbing another one into the rings here. Sarah Wilkes' second stone.
guys. Great touch.
Sweepers get that one to the top of the 12s, dragged it quite a ways.
I thought it had like 2 feet more. Maybe.
The sweeper's talking about thinking that it had a little more weight than that, maybe starting to lose the ice a little bit.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. We have seen it. It doesn't get too slow, but it does seem to slow down a little bit, mostly through that. Of course, that slide path right through the middle where most of the rocks go, it'll tend to fudge up through there. Second guard needs to sit, and I think it will.
Guards even up. Homan looking to draw in, cutting off that draw path.
Yeah, you'd see some teams throw a guard on those 2 middle ones, but Rachel electing to play the choke.
Hit this. Yep. 5. Yep, you're heavy. Weight's good. 5. Yep. Hard. 6. Hard. Hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's really good weight.
Chips that top stone, but does get into the rings. Homan sitting 3.
Wenn wir schon Take-Out spielen? Wenn wir schon Take-Out spielen? Also, sie wird nachher den Rambeck. Ja, ein bisschen verteilen, nur so 11,5. Ja, aber 11,5, oder? Nur so. Ich finde es gut, wenn wir einen 11,5 spielen oder so. Ja.
Gonna have a little chat on this one, trying to figure out how to approach this end.
Also weißt du, dass zum Beispiel der nachher dahinter geht? So, und der da, irgendwo hinten. Weil ich würde jetzt noch, also der, ich weiss nicht, ob man den schreiben. Genau, ja so, ich würde aber, also wenn man den würden wir nie schreiben, glaube ich. Macht sie den und dann haben wir noch einen Guard und ist nichts mehr sonst, oder? Wir können auch den spielen, den dahinter tappen.
How's your Swiss-German, Ty?
Also ich finde einfach, wenn man den doppelt
Just slightly worse than my English and my counting skills, apparently, from last year.
Dann ist eigentlich nur noch die Guard und der.
Yeah, just watching the gestures, trying to figure out what they're thinking here.
Ich glaube nicht, dass wir unbedingt den schon schreiben, Tiri. Ja, den würde ich nicht spielen, wenn, dann würde ich glaube schon den. Okay.
Hit and roll behind either corner guard. You could also hit the highest red there and roll to a freeze on the other red, potentially. You could ignore all of them and draw, but you're going to have to move some stuff around the middle eventually.
Dann ist der da und der da. Das ist ja super. Findest? Also ich finde, den schreiben wir sowieso nicht. Den, den wir jetzt spielen, dann müssen wir nachher anfangen zu freezen, oder? Ja, genau, ja. Aber mit Freezen ohne Guard wird es schwierig.
Spin around the other sheets during this discussion. Team Hasselborg with a 5-2 lead over Team Tabata in the 5th. On sheet B, Team Kim leading Fujisawa 4-1 in the 5th end play. Sheet C, steal from Team Anderson in the 5th end. They lead, or excuse me, Team Rana in the 5th end. They lead Team Anderson 4-1. So what do we settle on here, Chels?
I'm not sure. It's like a hit and roll of some kind.
I think so.
That doesn't really accomplish a lot. Replaces that red with the yellow, but pokes it all the way through.
Yeah, I think trying to get that to curl a little bit more, then your shooter would have rolled behind the guard, and that red that she ran back would have chiseled that one in the top of the forefoot and split them into a pocket she could have frozen into. So really close to perfect, but as it stands, not terribly helpful. And we're going to just remove this yellow and stick somewhere in the vicinity, probably.
We've got organ music playing. We've got the wave going.
Is this a curling event?
your traditional Bonspiel.
I love it.
Hit and roll made there. Rolling right to the center line. Still sitting 3 now for Homan.
It bounced like a little bit, like it was like a couple.
Just solid. Just solid.
Noonie. Good. It's nice.
It's hard to hear.
That was the call from Silvana. Just move those 2 reds and spin up to another corner guard, but does leave Team Homan sitting 2 in the house. So now Rachel will take a look.
What are you thinking?
Just gotta watch that.
And Rachel would like to clear this up.
I think so. Just
A couple of jams, though.
feel the guard.
I rolled to a pretty good spot where the peel, all the peels are
Okay.
a bit tough. This is the easiest one of the 3 options. You could try the double peel, but I think that always jams. Trying to peel the back one is really thin and difficult. This top one is the easiest single peel.
Yep. Yep.
We're okay.
Peel gets over the top there from Fleury.
Yep.
Removing the stagger with the corner guards. Tirinzoni going to the wide side, trying to get underneath the corner guard, or intern. Team Kim is all over Team Fujisawa over on Sheet B. Leading 4-1 with hammer and sitting 3, going to Fujisawa's last stone. Possibly 4. Does look like 4.
It's really thin to make sure that we don't hit it onto ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could throw 7-8 slow and roll it right to there. Okay. Double. Take it safer.
Probably safer.
It's dead straight. If you hit half and you roll over, like
Okay, hair low.
it's doing nothing, even on our draws.
Hair low, try to get them both. It's less risky to tap that one in over there.
We talked about the double peel, but they're worried about jamming it on that side red in the 12-foot. So instead are going to play this run back. Yellow, yellow, and if you were to miss it, even as long as you miss it on the center line side, you roll your shooter to a center guard on that top 4-foot red, so that would be acceptable as well.
Hard sweep out of hand here.
Hard! Gotta go thicker. We're tapping them in. Yep.
Doesn't make the run, but does bump the other yellow into the house. See if maybe Tirinzoni can bring that one into play.
That's about as angry as you'll hear Tracy Fleury get.
Time out. Ich glaube, wenn wir jetzt den machen, hat sie keinen Doppel, weil der war. Hat sie da einen Doppel? Weißt du, wegen dem?
Fantastic shot from Team Kim. A little redirect. That looks like 4.
Ja, sie hat schon einen Doppel, wenn wir da.
That will put them up 8-1. Very likely handshakes over there. You have to play 6, I believe, in playoff action, though. Well, apparently just 5. They are shaking. So there's our first final for the quarterfinal action. Team Kim with an 8-1 victory over Team Fujisawa.
So timeout over on our sheet, and looks like they've elected to chase this third shot rock out on the wing. You could roll it in behind this corner guard, and that would really put some pressure on Rachel Homan. Nice hit and roll there. Sitting second, third, and fourth.
There's nothing like a big roll on. There's nothing like hit this and roll over or anything, eh?
I think if I make this double, great. If I don't make it, I have that on the next one, right? And if she knows this, I'll have some sort of gusto.
So, triple one piece.
Say half. A little thin half. Pretty good. Might get that other one. You got it. I'd rather get it thick.
Two different run doubles available here for Rachel Homan, but really needing to make one of them.
Yeah, 3 is definitely in play right now. Do have the option just to hit the open counter, try to stay away from a 3.
Yeah, they didn't even look at that, and I think the reason is I don't think there's really anywhere you can roll that doesn't leave a double for Alina Petz.
Owen playing the run, see how many she can get moving. Just the 1. Tirinzoni will be able to sit 3 now.
Should have a double.
Question is, how much of that yellow can she see? Not much. If you were to roll this in behind, it'll leave Rachel Homan a double off the open one, but it'll be all the way across the house and put a lot of pressure on her.
Der Einzige, was wir 3 machen können, ist wahrscheinlich so und wir direkt nebendran liegen.
In the hack, Rachel said she wanted to throw it hard right at the nose and it would float back on its own, and then after it stopped, she said it stayed right where I threw it. So she expected it to fall a little bit and it just didn't.
Ja, aber weißt, das Problem ist, wo rollen wir her? Wenn wir hier herrollen, kann sie den Doppel machen und liegt nachher da hinten Schott. Dann habe ich einen schwierigen für 2. Also weißt, wenn wir nur bis dahin rollen, wäre ganz schlecht. Weil ich glaube nicht, dass wir nebendran herrollen, oder? Ich glaube, wir rollen da hinten dran her. Ja, okay. Vielleicht müssen wir das Risiko aber auch nehmen, weißt du? Ja, eben das ist klar. What do you think they're gonna do? Machen wir den.
Mit, aber nicht lang. So
Selfie.
Ich dachte, damit wir ein bisschen Fläche hätten, aber so.
Also ich kann erst noch schneller kommen.
Nein, ich will nicht. Like edges. Also so eine Saurock on the inside?
So Sachen, ja. Machen wir eine Szene.
Ja. Ja.
So just a matter of where you leave the shooter playing this hit. And not to leave a double off of the number 1 counter. There is a double on number 2 and number 3 right now. See where Pats is able to leave this one. Rolls all the way over underneath cover. Nice shot.
Okay, got it.
So now Homan forced to play the crosshouse, either double or triple.
We still were able to drag out Tracy's quite a ways.
Tough to get all three, Chels, but fairly natural with thin half for the double.
And I think if the scoreboard were a little different, you might have seen a different choice there. That this left Rachel kind of the only out where she might end up forcing or stealing a point potentially, where if you rolled away towards the other, that wide open yellow, you're going to leave her a double, but at least you're always going to get two. But given the scoreboard, I think the right choice for Silvana, but now she has to hope that Rachel Homan misses this.
That's not a sentence you want to say generally either.
No, never.
So Homan, crosshouse double attempt. Catches the back one, but spins too far, so it will be a draw for two for Tirinzoni. This is last shot, right, Chels?
Yes, confirmed.
Still only using 8 rocks.
Still only 8. We haven't gone to 10 yet.
Da kennen wir es ein bisschen besser als da, oder? Kann ich noch ein bisschen mehr einsagen? Ganz die normale Spur ist gut. Ja, also 4-0. Ganz 8.
Final stone, 6th end, Alina Pats just needing to hit the 8-foot for their second point.
It's very releasing.
Sweepers like it early.
Just gonna take a quick look at it.
And there it is, settles into the top of the 4-foot. Tirinzoni gets 2 to climb back into this matchup, trailing now 5-4 after 6 ends.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Two points for Tirinzoni. Get them within a single point now. Trailing Rachel Homan 5-4. Homan with hammer in the 7th. Chelsea, really, if you're Tirinzoni in this spot, you're just hoping somebody scores in this end. A single point at least.
I want to avoid the blank for sure, and the multiple point for sure. You'd probably prefer, I'd have to look at more recent stats, but my guess is that you'd prefer to give up 1 rather than steal 1. But it's close. I don't think the statistical difference would be very large there. So yeah, for Team Tirinzoni, either team gets 1, they're pretty happy.
Just bite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let it curl, let it curl. Curl, Tracy. Curl.
Homan trying to take that top 8, top 4 line away. For Tirinzoni, looking for a couple center guards. Selena Bitschonke.
41. That's a left.
It's in the forfeit.
Hey. Girl, let's go. Girl. No logo. Goed, Klaus. Lijn is super. Dat is een linie. Schön. Goed. Schön. Goed.
Careless ice.
Both centers well placed there from Vitschonke. Homan's going to have Sarah Wilkes try to come in again. Same intern path.
Line's great. 5. Hard if you're light.
Just a 4. 4, 5.
Line's perfect.
Pretty good. Weight's good.
Hard
You need
in.
to curl.
Curl.
Take it.
Good placement there from Wilkes. Good angle there as well. Rocks basically angled right back to the button.
Nice pair, Sarah. Really good. Sarah! Fetch! Watch, goed! Hier! Ja, hier! Wow! Hier nog! Hier! Hier! Wow! Good!
Just trying to tap these stones around.
Good! Good!
Unlocks them a little bit. Not a bad shot. Chelsea just trying to set up some sort of angle or opportunity to get that force or steal. So really needed to move those red rocks.
Yeah, there's no way you were going to ever get shot rock or even probably leave your shooter in a good place, but that's not the point right now. The point is to move them, unlock them so that the angle, like as you mentioned, they were lined up to go straight to the button. You want to change that and you want to move them back far enough that you can make a useful freeze. So pretty good shot there.
Clean.
Peel immediately called there from Homan.
You know, one guard, you almost have to like leave it in a corner, and then if you can screw it or like hit it thick.
Good throw him.
Yeah, no, I looked at it.
How'd that run?
That's why you guys talk about it.
Regalo wieder 4-0.
Okay, the top edge. I don't think I got it.
Fish! Fish! Fish, linie! Fish! 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 Come!
Tight to the guard now.
Fish!
And does wreck. Spins into the top of the 8-foot.
That halfway we've been throwing.
Het is een beetje soft aus der Hand. Einfach nicht so aktiv. Also nicht.
It's a good chance here for Team Homan with this setup, Chelsea, really to put the clamps down on this game. If you can score a 2, you feel like you have a really good chance of winning, obviously, with a 3-point lead, but the way these are setting up could be at least that.
Yeah, it's big trouble right now for Tirinzoni. They had to get that one by, so that little feather just killed them. So it's desperation time here.
Good shot, Emma. Very nice.
Angle's not playing great for Team Tirinzoni here. Really need to make this freeze. Really nice line here.
To sit down.
Oh, good shot.
Very well done.
Okay. You like that?
Maybe need to get rid of that guard. That's the dangerous rock right now for Tirinzoni, or for Homan.
What do you see in?
Forced by Team Rana in 6. Anderson forced to take a point. Rana now leads 4-2 with hammer. 7th end, that young squad looking to punch their ticket to the semifinals. And Team Hasselborg with a 2-point lead and hammer 5-3. In the 7th end, over on sheet A, over Team Tamara.
Where are they going if we peel this? I'm just wondering where they go if we peel it.
As long as we don't hook it, but I think it's hard to hook it. I think you're going right to the side of this always. And if you just move it an inch. What do you like? What do you think?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Do you want to run it into that?
I don't know if you have to, do you?
Well, just in case we get an opportunity to blank like that.
It's just I would hate to like do something like that. Yeah, it's pretty thin to go over the top. It looks very thin to go over the top to me. I was thinking just straight peel this way.
Yeah. And I guess we can't hurt ourselves here if we go too thin. Yeah, it doesn't curl here at all.
It looks very jammy to me.
I mean, if you flash, you probably plant it. It's not really what you think in the hack, but well, still, we'd be 2. We could, for sure, if we catch that one.
It looks very thin to me. I would hate to go by and double out ours too. That's what I was thinking too with the interns.
I don't know why we wouldn't,
because of the risk of the jam.
What?
Because of the risk of the jam. It's quite skinny to go over top.
I think you can go over the top easily. Whatever you're comfortable with. You're throwing it straight.
Yeah, I think
Long
I like
conversation
the
here for
I'd hate to like go
Team
by
Homan,
to double
trying
out
to
our
sort
risk.
out if they think the best route is. Chelsea, do you think you need to get rid of that guard or make a play on something in the house?
I think you'd love to get rid of that yellow rock that was just thrown by Silvana Tirinzoni, but the only, well, I guess there's 2 ways to get at it. Rachel's first thought, Rachel really liked the slash yellow. Tracy worried about the jam, and I'm kind of with her. It looks dangerous to me, and I don't think you need to take it on. So I think the peel is probably the prudent call.
Prudent even?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Take my pinky off of my water bottle. There is the prudent peel.
Fancy up in the booth here.
Und nachher, weißt du, ist der mal weg und sie liegt da Nase vorne dran.
Yeah, I got out a little bit, but yeah, it didn't do much.
Also ich würde gar genau da machen. Dass es ein bisschen vom Roten abdeckt. Ich glaube, das geht gut. Und das Lash abdecken, beides. So, dass sie auf dem nicht Nase kommen kann. Ich meine, wenn sie ja irgendwie da so etwas macht, ist ja gut.
Ja.
Ich würde gar machen, ja.
Either team in dire straits on their
Ich finde den
clocks.
nicht gut, aber...
Tirinzoni with 6 minutes and counting. Homan at 7:24.
Also ich bin für Gar, für mich ist es relativ klar. Ich hätte auch gesagt, mit dem nächsten vielleicht. Einfach gerade beißen Centerline, Selina, auf dieser Seite.
They freezing? Okay. So probably another peel for me. Do I want to touch that red one if I have an angle?
Just not sure if they're throwing the guard or the freeze here. How's your
Yeah, like if we're running
German
it
slash French slash
just straight peel. So just
whatever
straight
they go with?
Swiss German. If it was the French side of Switzerland, I'd have a chance. Swiss German, I have no chance. My guess is that she's freezing this, but
Okay.
we'll find out.
Wo genau? Oh. Geil, Selina. Geil. Wo?
Just playing to a tight guard.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Could make this.
I think it's probably time for that one if you're home in Chelsea.
Yeah.
That slash is there now. You may as well play
Release
it.
this 1 inch, then we have them always.
Yeah, that's true though.
We could ever release it just like 1
Yeah,
inch.
hit and roll in off the
X, so we
yellow,
can
push the red over a little bit.
'Cause right now
Problem
it
is
goes
if you
over
push
the
it
top
too
of it,
far,
you
then they can play in off of it.
For sure, but the challenge with the slash is that it's really hard to stick it, and so say you lose your shooter and the run rock,
But it always kills that.
it looks good because you're sitting 1-2 and they're buried, but it opens everything up for Savannah to make an even better freeze than on shot stone.
Sideways so that this will always go into that.
Okay, PO8.
That way we have this way or that way. Do you like normal?
Oh, just normal.
We don't want to kill it.
We have to roll pretty flat though, right?
Yeah, you're right. Up normal.
You even got my father going now,
Yeah,
too.
I think
It says,
you
prudent hasn't ever been used as an adjective in curling before this. That's a first. I can't remember hearing it either, so I think Dad might be right.
I'm just a trendsetter, what can I say?
Okay.
Just eloquent, Chelsea, that's all it is.
I try.
So they are playing that hit and roll in off of the winger.
Trying to just jiggle those middle two reds a tiny bit. You just want to release it. You don't need to move it far. You just want to tap it an inch so that it's not hooked with that other red.
Hard. Whoa. Hard. Really good. Beauty.
It does release it.
Mit dem kann sie ja im Moment noch nichts machen, dass sie den nicht behindern kann, oder? Danke, so ein Selfie.
With what?
Nase.
The center line?
Playing the double, looks like here.
Ich glaube, wir müssen nachher wie den halt zum irgendwie reintappen oder so.
It also just played a nose,
Genau,
so you have that rock to use.
Yeah, that was my first thought, but I think the concern is if you hit it on the nose and she makes the slash double, you're dead.
Ooped.
Yeah.
So that's not the prudent selection.
I'm not sure that it is.
Outturn hit here for Alina Pats. And they were just playing the nose.
Made it perfect.
Oh, like roll in a hair?
And it's dangerous for Rachel to play the slash, but if she made it, it would be a really good result.
Use it. I think just straight note. What are they doing if you straight note?
That's really thin.
Very
Like
thin.
that too.
Yeah, and if you hit it a little too thick, it's pretty disastrous for
Yeah, I don't think they can
Rachel
risk taking it
so-
on.
Especially not being one up with the hammer, you probably don't take a chance. If you needed to score 3 or 4, then different story.
We just need to be able to tap the second one in. I think just straight nose. I don't think you want to roll.
You don't think if we touch
'cause
this,
if you-
then it really goes?
I just don't want you to roll here and then
And
you
hook it.
can't use it right on the nose.
You're like bored?
Sure, right on the nose.
Also ich glaube, der zweite verliert sie. Also der Fünfer verliert sie, ja, sicher.
That looks like too much ice.
Also der Shooter geht aber auch ein bisschen unter. Der Shooter, der Zweier bleibt der bleibt und der, was sie jetzt da ja, der trifft. Ja. Das Timer.
So Broom almost center rock, and Rachel still thinks it's too much.
And I think they said board, so expecting this to go really straight.
Yeah. We have seen coming off the wall side over here on sheets B. That is the straightest line I think we've seen on any of the sheets.
Yeah, A has a similar thing, I think, as well. Both maybe a little bit slanted towards the crowd, which is pretty common.
This is curling a little bit now, though. Don't want to roll to stagger. That's exactly what it does. So can't use that one now. Timeout called here by Tirinzoni.
Real close, Rich.
The clock's still running. There we go.
Gut, sie kann ja schon so, dass nachher uns nachher rausdrückt, oder?
That's an option.
Wir liegen ja nachher da, oder? Ist der letzte,
Sorry?
oder? Was ich dann habe. Ja.
I was just a little light.
Also mit Tech oder so. Oder nicht? Einfach der muss da schlechter sein wie der. Aber Nase. Und nachher hat sie doch nur etwas für einen, oder?
Looks like an easy choice to run red onto yellow onto red. The question is, where does the top red rock go? Are you going to leave Rachel Homan the exact same thing back for 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think if you can get to inside on it, it'll stagger to take that run away.
I agree, but I don't. Can you is the question.
I think she can maybe
Also kommst vor allem wahrscheinlich höchstens bis da.
She might just draw. She's thinking about just drawing behind.
If you're happy with the force, then I think you throw the out turn draw around that stagger and just sit somewhere in front of the red and say, take your one.
If she draws there, you might have tapped up the middle though.
So based on the fact that they're still talking about it, I'm guessing that they're not happy with that and they're looking for a way to sit one. Which I know exactly how you sit one, but is it worth the risk or not?
Ja, wahrscheinlich müssen wir das Risiko nehmen, oder? Oder sonst geht er nicht gar nicht. Aber nachher habe ich das Gefühl, der kann sich immer noch... Also sie kann ja, glaube ich, dem ankommen, zack, und nachher ist der Gefühl, der geht.
She's nosing it.
11,5, so glaube ich. Sie sind noch ein bisschen lieber vom...
They do settle on, we believe, the short run.
Gut.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty much edge to edge. I'm not sure you can get to the inside. If you could, then this is definitely the call.
Okay, see what happens.
Yeah, what?
You really don't want to be on the wide side here either, because that will likely push the yellow to the open.
She has to be careful. Should just be one. So.
Does have to be careful, Tracy. You are right about that.
In-turn, short run back attempt here. It's made, but does peek out a little bit, so there's a double there for Homan for 3 or 4.
There's a double there for Homan for the game. Whether it's 3 or 4, I don't think will matter very much. You could also maybe hit those 2 frozen reds. I think it always goes straight back onto that. That might be the easier shot.
Pretty much gunned up, yeah. I think you can hit it anywhere outside with weight. It's 3, right?
I don't think there's any risk, and there is risk with a double, so I think this is the play.
Even more, I think. Like, it's a lot of rock.
It's like normal. Okay. 4 rocks.
Just playing normal. You heard Rachel say 4 rocks, meaning the transfer has 4 stones. So you want to make sure you throw enough weight with that 4 rock transfer.
Yeah, I think Rachel initially was thinking control, and Tracy's saying, well, you have to move all 4 of these, and she's right. And I don't think you can hurt yourself by throwing it fairly hard here. I don't think it'll change anything about the angles in a negative way.
The final stone here. 7th end. Well, a little false start. Rachel didn't like somebody moving around, I think. She will reset. I would rather die than get that look from Rachel. Although I might die after it anyways.
I was going to say, it sort of gives I might kill you kind of a vibe anyway, but...
If you weren't dead before, you will be soon. Final stone, 7th end. Rachel Homan.
No.
4 rock red combo here. That'll do it. 3 it is for Homan. That will be handshakes as well. Homan with the 8-4 victory over Team Tirinzoni, punching their ticket to the semifinal round. That'll wrap up our coverage for the quarterfinals. We'll be back for the men's and women's semis tonight at 7 p.m. For Tyler George, Chelsea Carey, and the Home Team Lab Network, we will see you at 7 tonight.